Welcome back. So we're still working on a garage, or working on a loft to be specific. It's going a little slower than we wanted to. It always does. You know, life pulls you in different directions. But we've been trying, we've been working hard, and we got quite a bit of it done. And we even got one of what I call the niceties done. So take a look. Tell me what you think. Huh? Isn't that beautiful? I love that sign. So it's one of the first niceties that we've put in. But I think it looks pretty good. Of course, the sheetrock is raw. There's no taping, there's no mud up there yet or anything like that. I don't even know what color the sheetrock itself is going to be, but the sign does look lovely. So that's our wall that basically hides the parts, the spare parts for the cars. Now, we're only going to hide behind the wall on shelves the ugly parts, right? The yucky mufflers, carburetors, you know, manifolds. Nice parts like mag wheels and all that, they'll go on more on the edges where you'll be able to see them. And of course, there's a railing here. So, you know, the sign might have to move up an inch or two to clear the railing, depending on where you're standing. But, you know, it'll go from about where the mascot is here and all the way across. Someday I'll tell you the story about this little guy. That's an interesting story, but it's hard to talk about. But yeah, and then we'll put something up there. You know, there's a lot of work still left here, a lot of sheetrock, and the posts will have to be pretty, and then we have our bar and our jukebox. It's going to look great. But maybe the little sign will give you an idea of sort of where we're going with this. Yeah, I think so. So thank you for coming by. I hope you're enjoying our adventure so far. Oh, you know what? Before I let you go, let me show you one more thing. Watch what happens to the sign when we change the lighting. It gets even better. Huh? How's that? Isn't that beautiful? So when we are able to actually dim our big lights, and you know, there'll be other neon signs down here in the little diner. You know, we're gonna have a little diner down here. So there'll be, and of course things on the walls. There'll be lots of eye candy, but so you can see what happens when you dim your lights a little bit. Of course it's too dark here, but let me put the lights back on. Give me just 1 second. We don't even have a light switch yet. It's extension cords plugged into the wall. Sorry about that. There we go. So, yeah, we're making progress. This is a particularly complex area, so it takes a little while longer to do, but we're just about there. We'll bring somebody in to do the sheetrocking first, because I don't do sheetrock. I hate that job. We'll hire a company to make the railing for us. So Jason and I have to finish the inside of the wall, the other side, and then we have to extend that wall out. If you look on the bottom, you see that there's wood on the back, because the sides of the garage, it's a double post. It's quite wide. It's almost 4.5 inches wide. So we're going to be able to get 4 inches of insulation in there. But back there's only 2.25, so we have to build it out another 2.25 with 2x4s, which we did. On the bottom, we got to do the top, and then we have to do the same thing on the wall behind Jason, and then we have to do the rest of the wiring. There's lots of wiring. You have to wire for the lights properly and put 3-way switches in, and we have to wire in a TV. You know, what happens with these projects is you start out with a basic idea, but then as you go along, the creative process takes over, and you start to change a little bit and to add things. Not that you go too far from the original dream, right? I mean, if you go back to the garden and watch the very first video and then watch the very last video, you can see that we pretty much did everything we said we were going to do in the first video, even though I was just imagining it at the time. But along the way, we added certain things and changed certain things. And the same thing happens in this process, which is the fun part. Like, for example, I was going to have a very big screen TV here, huge. And so that when you walked through the door, you hit the switch, boom, the lights went on, whammo, huge screen TV, Nigel Mansell up there, Ayrton Senna, racing scenes, absolutely beautiful. But then I realized that I need to have some carjackers here to lift cars. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to put as many cars in here as I would like. So now if you imagine 4 cars on lifts here and a TV on a wall, the TV would be completely behind the cars, right? Because the TV would be here, Jason, up here, right? But you'd have cars up here, so no good. So now the TV has to go on that wall. But the disadvantage of that is when you walk through the door over there and you hit the switch, the TV is next to you. You can't see it. You have to walk around a car to see this. So now I'm going to need to come up with a reason why the TV is here, to create some kind of focal point to be able to force the use of this TV. And we will. But no, that's the creative process, which I really love, you know. So that's where we are. It's coming along. The sign's nice. I couldn't wait to put the sign up because I wanted to just put one nice thing up because you're working on this and you're tired and you're yucky and it gets very hot in this garage right now because there's no insulation. Even the lights can make it hot in here. And when the sun shines on this building, oh boy. So it's a little bit miserable sometimes. It's not always ha-ha fun, you know. So I was dying to put something up that was ha-ha fun. So there it is. I personally love it. I think it's beautiful. I hope you guys like it too. I want to thank you for coming by and watching our adventures. I hope you keep coming by. And we'll see you again soon. Ciao. Now